So there I was, writing a script about how Godzilla returning to stomp the Marvel Universe not only seemed likely, but imminent, given the overwhelming success of the Big G in recent years.
That's
Godzilla!
so hot right now.
And then, Godzilla vs. Marvel Round 2 announcement, here we go. Now that my Nostradamusing is done, here's what needs to happen. Number 1, epic battles, like Godzilla vs. the Hulk. I'm not talking a canonically confusing editor's note here. I want a full-scale, knock-em, sock-em battle between the strongest monster and the strongest hero. I don't care who wins. I don't care if it breaks the Marvel Universe. I mean, I don't live there. I need this battle. For the record, Godzilla should and would totally win. Of course, if it's any consolation, Hulk fans, Hulk would be in great company. Godzilla has already added Superman to his KD spread, so taking Hulk down wouldn't be too difficult. Hulk fans, I'm totally baiting you right now. I mean, it's obvious, right? By the way, if you haven't yet, check out Philip K. Johnson's The Incredible Hulk run. It's amazing. There's nothing more satisfying than reading our favorite Green Goliath throwing down with terrifying monsters in a cosmic horror backdrop. How epic would it be to see Godzilla and Hulk not only fight, but team up against legions of monsters and eldritch abominations? Next, I'd love to see Godzilla vs. Thor. Not only Thor, but Godzilla waging war against Marvel's many gods, pantheons, and their respective mythologies. This seems plausible since it sounds like each issue will take place in a different era, meaning we could see Godzilla fighting the gods in ancient times, in the present, or in the distant future. Let's take a moment and imagine Godzilla fighting Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent, Surtur, the Fire Giant, Fenris Wolf, etc. In Al Ewing's stupendous Immortal Thor run, check it out, we've seen the return of the Elder Gods, so Godzilla humbling the likes of Utgard Thor would be epic. Or maybe having Godzilla or even Mothra meeting Gaia, the elder goddess of Earth, who also happens to be Thor's biological mother. That would be epic. Speaking of Mothra, Mothra versus Storm. Godzilla fighting the X-Men seems to be a match made in pop culture heaven. After all, both have so much in common, like being universally reviled mutant pariahs. They're also significantly different. I mean, the X-Men are mutant humans, Godzilla is a mutant dinosaur. Of course, there are X-Men characters, mutants, that happen to be mutant human dinosaurs. Looking at you, Sauron. But given how it seems like Marvel gets to play with Godzilla's amazing friends, I think a more interesting matchup would be between Mothra and Storm. Recently, Storm has ascended, and deservedly so. While Storm isn't my favorite X-Men character, I mean, that honor goes to Cyclops, but let's face it, Storm is very close. She is, without question, one of the best comic book characters ever. As wise as she is powerful, Storm's mastery over the elements, coupled with her leadership skills and innate goodwill, makes her an interesting opponent for the divine kaiju we know and love as Mothra. Galactus versus King Ghidorah. If I were a betting man, I'd wager my Zilla dollars on this actually happening. We know the very first issue revolves around Godzilla meeting the Fantastic Four. However, something more interesting will happen. Galactus recruiting a new herald, King Ghidorah. Since controlling the three-headed monster historically ends in disaster, a betrayal is all but certain. Come here, Logan. Yeah. Hey, Logan, tell everyone what you think. Who do you think will win, Godzilla or Hulk?
Ghidorah.
Godzilla. That's right. That's my boy. Mwah. You tell him. Now, if you're new to Marvel Comics, Galactus is a primordial being that eats planets to maintain balance in the cosmos. He wields an unlimited energy source called the Power Cosmic, which, in turn, is passed down to his heralds. King Ghidorah, empowered by the Power Cosmic, would be a universal threat.
Hi.
Imagine King Ghidorah usurping Galactus and becoming, for a limited time, Marvel's new devourer of worlds. King Ghidorah replacing Galactus would immediately spell doom for all. No doubt, it'd force Marvel's cosmic players to act, which means we'd be treated to instantly iconic frames of King Ghidorah waging war against the Phoenix, the Celestials, and maybe Eternity itself. Okay, so I invoked Doom earlier, and it'd be remiss of me not to bring up my all-time favorite Marvel villain, Dr. Doom. Bringing Doom into the fold is an absolute must. What would a Godzilla Marvel reunion be without the ruler of Latveria? Doom is infamous for hijacking powers from other characters like the Silver Surfer, Galactus, Beyonder, and etc. Dr. Doom discovering the source of Godzilla's power, which could be an unknown energy source that eclipses everything, might be enough to tempt him into trying to steal everything from the King of the Monsters. Number 2, Dream Team-Ups Face-Offs. Okay, so this should be a given, right? I mean, Godzilla needs to cross over with the Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone. But I'm not strictly talking about epic battles here, which we should be getting an abundance of anyway. I'm talking about character juxtapositions. Marvel is teaming with fascinating characters, most of whom have relatable personalities and themes. Godzilla is no different. It'd be really interesting to see Godzilla not only fight, say, Spider-Man, but to watch the two legends overcome a greater obstacle. Not only are the characters crossing over, so too are their respective allegories, their representations, that which makes them unique in who they are. With great power comes great responsibility. There are a few Godzillas that actually get that could exemplify Spider-Man's motto. I mean, Legendary Goji, for instance. However, imagine a crossover where Godzilla learned to adopt this philosophy, where Godzilla actually started showing signs of, perhaps there's some lesson to be learned here. Likewise, Spider-Man could learn that despite their massive differences, they are a lot alike, that they, have a lot more in common. They both have a place. Finally, number 3, make this a movie. Full stop. Now, the chances of seeing a full-length live-action movie pitting Godzilla up against the Marvel Universe are low. In this video's first draft, I went into excruciating detail explaining what steps would need to be taken in order to make this possible. Like, for instance, how the stars would have to magically align. Long story short, Godzilla blowing up the box office while achieving cinematic acclaim, accolades, like winning prestigious awards, check. Godzilla appearing in massively successful crossovers in different mediums, Power Rangers, DC Comic, check. The willingness to partner up with a competing movie studio. Disney Marvel have already done this with Sony in relation to Spider-Man. Toho, not to my knowledge, so both companies are profit driven, so if such a crossover would be considered lucrative, I could see Toho, Disney, Marvel coming to the negotiating table. Also, if there's a craving for it, that's where we come in. Yes, we need to sound off and make it clear we would love to see this. Anyway, unlike a feature-length, live-action adventure, an animated feature is not only attainable, it is the right move to make. So time is of the essence here, so this needs to be greenlit ASAP. The next Godzilla Kong movie won't drop until March 2027. Who knows when we're getting the next Toho Godzilla film, which is rumored to be a sequel to Godzilla -1. While we're not bereft of Godzilla related media, I mean Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 is in production, but that probably won't premiere until either late 2025 or early 2026. Another option is we could go down the X-Men 97 What If route. Instead of putting all our Mothra eggs in one cinematic basket, we could extend our surefire hit of a concept into an animated series. Absolutely, either way, be it an animated feature or an animated series, we absolutely need to see Godzilla and the Marvel Universe throw down. It would be amazing. Now, what do you think about this Godzilla Marvel reunion? Are you interested in seeing an animated adaptation or a live action crossover? Sound off in the comments section down below. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. So thanks again for stomping by. Stay safe, and I'll see you all later.